Good morning, everyone. This is Ieva from Camco, reporting for ESI Africa from COP27. And we are here on what is Thursday morning, so we're nearly at the end of the second week. And I wanted to continue some of the discussions that I started earlier about the role of gender in energy and more broadly in climate action. So with me, I'm delighted to have a great colleague, Aina-Maria Iteta from the Namibia Environmental Investment Fund. And Aina-Maria is also the UNFCCC gender focal point in Namibia. So together, we were just on the same panel last week discussing the program that Camco and UNIDO are putting together, which will focus on climate-smart agriculture in Southern Africa, with Namibia being one of the focal countries. And we found some great synergies between the work that we're planning to do and the work that the Environmental Investment Fund is doing. But as I said today, the conversation is on gender. And so, Aina-Maria, perhaps we could start by hearing from you what is the role of the UNFCCC gender focal point in your country, and so more broadly and specifically in Namibia, what it is that you're focusing on and why is it important to have this role?
Thank you very much, Ieva. I think it is such a wonderful opportunity to have this chance to chat to you about my second role, of course, in addition to my day-to-day responsibility in the company, as appointed by the National Designated Authority and focal point to the UNFCCC, that is our Ministry of Environment, Forest and Tourism, to serve as a UNFCCC gender focal person. It has been enticing. Of course, probably there should be something that trigger. I'm not really a gender expert to say, but probably they see a driving force for me to coordinate this particular mandate in the country. So what happened is that the role of the gender focal person is really to ensure that the UNFCCC Gender Action Plan is endorsed at different COPs, and also acknowledgement from the parties that gender mainstreaming in terms of climate change intervention is one of the critical and crucial issues or agenda that requires attention. So it needed that particular focal, responsible, warm body to it. So really the role there is to coordinate and ensure that initiatives that are being established, identified, programs and programming within countries, in our NDCs that we are developing and improving as parties to the UNFCCC, gender mainstreaming is not just appearing as a mentioning, but there should be tangible action to it that we see. There are key performance indicators that we can report on as we gather at different COPs that are coming up. So for myself, as in that position, I have been trying to first create awareness. Of course, we need to educate our people first at policy level, by identifying key champions, especially our politicians, just to sensitize them, because first you need to create an enabling environment, and that is from a policy perspective. So far it has been going well in Namibia. We have had roundtable discussion, higher level discussion, where we invited politicians to come on board. The political will is so strong really at that point. However, we still notice that the actual action implementation is still lagging behind, and given that assignment, I'm continuing to push forward, and I'm very ambitious and optimistic that with the political will established in the country, definitely we will transform and ensure that gender mainstreaming into climate intervention action is achieved at the end of the day.
So a lot of work still to be done, but it's great to hear that there is political will, and of course that's where it starts. And I understand you're using the concept of champions, which is sometimes very important. I hope there's a gender balance between the champions as well. That's also quite important. But so maybe just to bring it from the high-level policy to actual implementation, what rather the challenges on the ground. So you are an agricultural economist by training. You've worked a lot in the climate-smart agriculture space. So maybe the question would be, what do you see as the key challenges that women are facing in the agricultural space, and what particularly maybe with climate change, some of these challenges might be exacerbated. So what would you see as those key challenges, and what needs to be done to address them?
Well, thank you very much, Eva, for the question. Really, imperatively, if I may just start with that, women actually makes up around about 70 to 80%, and that is in Southern Africa, of the labor force and contributing to the agricultural production. That factually should say a lot in terms of why should we have that special focus on women to empower them, especially to contribute and deal with issues of climate smart agriculture. So in Namibia, 70% of the population actually derive their livelihood from agriculture, and that is mostly sustainable agriculture. In this, and having been on the ground, I have seen it all. You have women really in plantation. They would wake up early in the morning, a time with their babies at the back. They are there driving really to go till that land and make sure that production is achieved. Again, if you move in the supply chain, the same women are actually picking up their production. Most of them are street vendors who are actually trying to create that informal market to actually get their produce to the market. What does this tell you? What is driving them? Actually, most of the time, women are actually there to take care of their family. They need to send their children to school, to universities, and as we interact with them, they definitely rely on this agricultural production to take care of their family, to send their children to school. Definitely, the challenge is that we need to support them. And most of the time, what we have seen, most of these women, they find it difficult to actually access finance. Commercial banks, private sectors are not coming on board to actually finance them with obvious reasons. These are people who are struggling. They don't have assets in their name. Issues of land ownership remains a challenge, especially in Namibia. Of course, women are finding it difficult. And I think this is not just in Namibia, in most of the African countries and across the board. So it is like you are not worth in terms of being financed at the end of the day. But however, yet statistically, this same person is the one who is holding the subsistence farming supply chain. So it is something that we need to interrogate. We need to bring our men on board and definitely engage them in a positive way, because it's not about fighting for the space, but we are trying to transform the society so that we bridge that gap of inequality. And surely with adequate policies, focused intervention, establish funding special vehicles to transform and help women for them to advance and improve their production and their supply chain at large, I think definitely we will reach out something.
Great, and I do hope that we'll be able to partner together, and I think we have, as financiers, a lot of the time we have quite an important role to play in nudging some of these SMEs that are serving smallholder farmers to make sure that they address the needs of women and of all vulnerable groups in the end of the day. So I look forward to our collaboration, and thank you very much for your time. I should just perhaps add that we are reporting from the Namibian Pavilion at COP27, which is a great space that has held some of the interesting discussions at this COP and showcasing some of the leadership that Namibia has already to share with other countries. So thank you very much, and see you again.